Hello everyone, Royal Ailes here with you. We're continuing on with our COVID-19 update, and I'm joined now by 2nd District Congressman Markwayne Mulllin from his home over in Westfield, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, well, Congressman Mulllin, thanks for being with us today. I appreciate it. You're getting ready to go back to Washington possibly tomorrow for another vote on the $450 billion aid package. Any sign that that thing is actually going to happen?
Yeah, it will happen. It's pretty clean. When we first started this negotiation over actually 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of politics that was being played. There was a lot of attachments, or people say riders, that was trying to attach to this, especially coming from Chuck Schumer. And we just didn't want to do that. We wanted to keep it as clean as possible and just put the money out there for the Paycheck Protection Program. Listen, there's been over 35,000 loans just in the state of Oklahoma to small businesses. And as you can see, the way I'm dressed right now, I'm actually working out on our ranch today. And from our ranch to our restaurants to our plumbing companies and the other things that my wife and I have, but there isn't one of our companies that isn't hit negatively by this coronavirus. And businesses are needing help. I've been in business for 23 years. And I have never experienced anything like this. We've had ups and downs in different companies, but to have all of them hit and hit hard, for instance, my wife's restaurant alone has taken almost an 85% hit. And the Paycheck Protection Program is something that it's not a handout. It is helping us cope with a federal mandate and a state mandate that deemed our companies either essential or non-essential. And one thing I've always hated is unfunded mandates. And so if we're going to require businesses to do this, then we need to help make sure we're helping prop them up when this is over, because it is devastating.
Well, as you being a small business owner, in this next package is $300 million, which has been earmarked for small business. Is that enough?
Well, it's $310 billion total, and $250 billion is just an add-on to the original Paycheck Protection Program. And I think right now the state of Oklahoma still has 17,000 applicants that are still waiting for theirs to be processed. But there is not going to be a perfect outcome from this. This is unprecedented, and it's going to be very tough and difficult for all of us. Every single person in the United States has been affected by this, and it's going to take all of us to pull out too.
Well, the last stimulus package ran out of money rather quickly. Not all small businesses got into that pool. Large businesses got in there too. So how are you guys, and you may not know the answer to this question yet, but how are you going to dog-ear that for small businesses so the larger businesses who can sustain a little more of the hit don't get into the pool and swim around, so the small guys with 25 or less or 50 or less employees actually have a chance of getting some money?
Well, they're not, the companies that are already processed, they're not going to be able to reprocess for any of this additional money. They've already got their loans, so these are only going to be the ones that were left out. What you're going to see is most of those are the small businesses, because they didn't have the manpower and the resources to get the application processed fast enough, and maybe they didn't have the relationship with the banks. There was a lot of banks that they wasn't ready to go. SBA numbers that the Small Business Association gives to banks, especially small banks, it expires every 30 days. So if you don't reuse it every 30 days, you can't process what we call the portal for you to put the loan in. And a lot of small businesses, they actually do businesses with those small community banks. And so disproportionately, we were left out to begin with. And I say we because I'm a small business owner. And so you're going to see a higher number of small businesses being processed this time.
Okay. What about rural hospitals? They're taking it on the chin. How is this package going to help them?
Well, we put additional $750 million, additional $750 million for rural hospitals and small hospitals. The issue that we have with, and that's an additional on top of $100 billion that we've already set aside. The issue that we have right now is a lot of our rural hospitals are in distress. and they have been. And if they were near bankruptcy or bankrupt, or they were in bankruptcy, they can't get an SBA loan or this Paycheck Protection Program because you still got to have good credit, good standing credit. And so we're having to work with the state and deem some of these hospitals as critical. And so once they're deemed critical, then federal money can come into the state that the state can help stand these hospitals up because we need the additional beds. The problem in Oklahoma is we have, or not say the problem, the good problem, this is a good problem, we haven't had the need for those additional beds, and it doesn't look like we're going to need them. And so a lot of our rural hospitals that have been prepped up, they've got the PPE, that's the personal protection equipment. They went out and got the ventilators. They got the N95 masks. They spent all this money, and yet they're not using them. They're having a hard time finding reimbursement. So what we've done in Congress is that we said, okay, we're going to reimburse you your Medicaid and your Medicare that you were getting last year. Whatever, you're going to get that same amount this year to prop you up because since you wasn't having to have those elective surgeries or the other needs that you're turning away to be prepared for this. So we're trying to help as much as we can, but it's not going to be perfect. We're actually, all we're doing is really putting a Band-Aid on something that really needs stitches.
Well, are you ready for this country to open up? Because I think there's a lot of pent-up frustration, and people are ready to get back to work if they can. We are designed, as human beings, we're designed to work. And we need to get this country back open as fast as possible and as safe as possible. Things are going to change. We're going to, as society, we have changed dramatically, and the way we do business is going to be changed too. But we need to get back to work. We need to get our communities back open. We need to get our main streets back open, and we need to get our employees back to work. The longer we keep it shut down, the harder it is for us to recover. The COVID-19 virus is going to be with us. It's not going to go away. It is part of our life at this point. And there's going to be people that's going to get it, and there's going to be people that's not going to get it. That's the same way that the flu season is every year. But we need to be smart about how we move forward. In this country, our communities need to be back open for business. Well, thanks for being with us today, Congressman. I appreciate your time, and get back to work. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'm going to get back to working on the ranch right now. My boys are waiting on me.